Right, hi guys. So we've got a little interview with a friend of mine. Doesn't want to sort of be on camera or anything like that, which is fine. Like I've said, for you who want to sort of tell your story as well. But she thinks she's not very interesting, but believe me, she is. So you'll only see me on the video, but you will hear her speak, obviously. So we're gonna call her Sally, and she's going to tell her story. So let me just. I need to. Right, so you lived with you grew up with your mum and your dad.
Yeah.
Let me
Good
just.
childhood.
Oh God, I have to turn this off. I get done for bloody copyright. Believe me, I bloody do. Can't have that. Right. Yeah. So you grew up with your mum and dad. Upbringing.
Very good.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah.
Brothers, sisters.
No, only child.
Okay.
Very lonely.
Yeah.
Very working class. My dad works.
Yeah.
And my mum stayed at home.
Yeah. So it
Yeah.
like that was like you should it kind of should be, but you know like
And they
old
like
school.
to go for a drink.
Yeah. But nothing excessive, or
No, but quite a lot on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and
yeah.
Friday, Saturday, Sundays at weekend. And my nana lived next door.
Okay, all right. So you
Yeah.
had quite a good network then, really.
Well, yeah, but I think it made me be a little bit naughty because I didn't get the attention.
Rebelling, so to speak. Yeah. Because I suppose you assume that you're going to get more attention when you're an only child, but I suppose that's not always the case.
Weird, no.
People have, they've got their own, going to work and looking after and stuff at the house and stuff like that. It does take.
I mean, when I look back, anything bad that happened to me, I had this bad incident.
Yeah.
And I told my mum, I was about 18 at the time.
Okay.
And she took me to Meadowhall and bought me a leather jacket.
Right.
Which I never thought anything at the time.
Yeah.
3/4 lovely coat.
Yeah.
And I look back and I think every time something happened, instead of talking about it with me,
Right, yeah.
they bought me something or tried to make up for it in that way.
Right, yes, like that material,
Yeah.
As though what a leather jacket should make you forget whatever it is that you.
Yeah, and don't talk about things, bad things. We don't talk about that.
Yeah, because I mean, if something's happened, whatever the event is, if you've got to the point where you think you want to speak to somebody about it, especially your parent, it's affecting you, isn't it? And you want advice back, don't you? You want not a leather jacket, so to speak, but you won't have seen that at the time, will you?
I didn't see that at the time. No.
Excuse me. Excuse me. So you mentioned about London. How did you end up in London then?
Well, I had a friend that I sort of like reconnected with again when I was about 17. I just broke up with my boyfriend.
Okay.
My first love.
Oh God.
and she introduced me to. I've always liked music and reggae music.
Yeah.
But she introduced me to donkey bands and blues, which
Right,
I never really knew existed.
Okay. Yeah. In Sheffield.
Yeah. In Spittlell.
Yeah, which is like Pitsmore.
Yeah.
Right?
And we'd go up after the club.
Yeah.
And something one night happened to me, and I often look at it and I think, why did I go back? Probably like the third time I've been, and there were me and two friends.
Yeah.
And we come out of Donkey Man's and it had been snowing.
Right.
And we couldn't get a taxi.
Yeah.
And there was a guy in a car and he was saying to us, I'll give you a lift wherever, at Norfolk Park at that time.
Yeah.
And we get in, and you probably think you're safe. I was sat behind him.
You do, don't you?
Yeah.
You're only little and young, but you think you know it all, don't you? And
you don't realise, how there are bad people out there.
Yeah. And there always has been, hasn't there?
And he dropped us off on the Norfolk Park.
Yeah.
And my friend got out of the car.
Yeah.
Then my other friend, I was sat behind him. He was in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, he pushed the chair back and shut the door.
Yeah, so like it's a three-door. Yeah, you've got no choice then, have you? Not even got a door to.
The window and seeing my friends like, what's happening?
Yeah. Wow.
That was terrifying.
Yeah,
I
can
have to
imagine.
Look at it and think, why did I go back?
Yeah.
To that club, because it was like a 2-hour ordeal.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, you talk about whatever you want to, and whatever you want to open up about is fine. Whatever you don't is fine as well on this channel,
But it seemed like a little bit crazy. We're definitely off key.
Yeah. I mean, obviously we all can make out. We all get the we know what sort of went off the street without you you're having to,
Yeah.
you know.
But afterwards, I heard about him, and it was somebody that you avoid, but obviously.
Okay,
you
well,
didn't know
was he,
about
without
him.
mentioning any names, because we don't want any
Yeah.
issue, but was he somebody sort of well known in the field?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah?
And this, I always remember this because it's ironic. At that time, there was a girl called Fiona Iverson.
Okay.
She came from a good family.
Yeah.
And she met somebody and she'd gone missing. And
Oh,
she was
God.
in Doncaster, I think it was.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. And it was this person who took me in
Right.
the car.
Yeah.
Um, And he got her working on the beat.
All right.
And she got beat to death in a multi-storey car park.
Oh, bloody hell. Wow.
And
I'd
her
like to go.
mum-
I'll have to have a look at that story.
Yeah,
'cause I
and
think-
Mum wanted to press charges against the man.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
But nothing ever.
I don't know. I didn't
Oh,
really follow
right,
it.
yeah.
But because he
No.
wasn't actually involved in the murder.
Ah, right, yeah.
Yeah.
It was quite a hard one to.
Yeah, and I always thought if if I'd have said something, maybe he wouldn't have been here to do that. To
Right, yeah. So you would only are you carrying around sort of what actually happened to
Yeah,
you.
that-
You're also carrying around like
something. Yeah,
guilt,
yeah.
feeling guilt. I mean, you've got no reason to at
No.
all. But what I'm saying is,
Yeah.
as a young girl,
And that
isn't-
happened at the same time.
exactly.
It was
Yeah,
in the
you know,
paper, in the start,
it's yeah. Yeah, I
Um,
can imagine that sort of being quite
Yeah.
an event
Yeah.
in your like a milestone, like a
Yeah.
you know, something that's permanent,
Oh,
maybe so to
still,
speak.
I can remember,
Yeah,
like I said, I
that's
remember.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I think it about 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Hours he had me.
Yeah, it's
He got a knife in the glove compartment.
made you aware of that sort of first.
Yeah, and I
First
was
of all,
crying
yeah.
hysterical. But I realised the more I was crying and the more he were getting angry.
Yeah.
So I had to turn it round where I was actually talking to him.
Yes.
And
yeah.
when he dropped me off, I think he was under, the understanding that we were going to meet again.
Well, is it what is it called now? Is it Stockholm syndrome?
I don't know, but
Syndrome.
it was like
But-
survival,
That's what I'm
that
saying. You
instinct
survive, yeah.
kicking.
I watch a lot of documentaries and people who, some people are kidnapped for years,
Yeah.
and they interact with them and sort of really get on the kidnappers level,
Yeah.
and it's only that what saved them.
Yeah. Yeah.
know,
because
literally.
he's a very volatile person.
I mean, it quite easily. I'm not saying this was the case, but by you doing that probably made you come back alive.
Yeah.
You don't know that. You don't
No,
you
I
don't
know,
know
you
that, do
don't.
you? And,
No, you
and it
don't.
isn't far fetched because it happens all the time.
yeah.
With
Yeah.
loads of cases. So basically, your strength came from.
Yeah, and my
you
mum and
didn't
dad
even know.
at the time, because I told my mum what had happened because I worked in Orchard Square
Okay.
in town.
Yeah.
At that time, it was like a shopping mall,
Oh yeah.
and I can remember seeing
There's a
him few
condom shop
times.
there as well, didn't there?
I remember seeing this person a couple of times.
Yeah.
So I knew that he was, around.
Around
There was
them.
chances I could see him, and it made me, nervous.
Of course, yeah. Because I mean,
Yeah.
I know Sheffield's quite a big place, but when you're moving in certain circles, it might as
Yeah.
well just be as big as your palm, hasn't
Yeah,
it?
you see people in town. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, well, yeah, you got a skeg and you see somebody, don't you?
Yeah,
you know.
do. Yeah.
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 So, did you go to London with your son's dad then? What?
Yeah, so after that incident happened, and I mean, it did rape me. It wasn't as bad as what it could have been.
But that was only because of how you
Yeah.
reacted.
Things could have gone probably a hell of a lot worse.
I mean, somebody not as strong as you, or it
Yeah, and
could
my
have really
friends,
gone worse, couldn't
They
it?
didn't know how to phone the police.
You're stuck
Oh,
again,
not-
aren't
yeah,
you?
they didn't know
Aren't you?
what
Because
to
the
do.
type of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get. Yeah,
And they
yeah.
knew my mum and dad didn't know her out till that time in the
They
morning.
don't
and,
exactly. Yeah, I get.
But I had to, when I got the morning after pill.
Yeah, that's the thing. So you've got that
Trying
added
to-
onto you,
yeah.
onto it as well, aren't
Yeah.
you? You know.
But at the time, my mum and dad thought it was best if I didn't go to the police, and
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
because it'd carry it on, and
But then I bet you were left sort of thinking, well, I've always seen my mum and dad sort of being the right sort of
Yeah.
people, you know, stand up in the community, so to
Yeah,
speak.
yeah.
You'd have thought they would have gone to the police
Yeah.
and would have wanted that, wouldn't you?
yeah, yeah.
So I bet that was also something
Yeah,
that went
and
through
I
your mind and
think-
added to the stinkiness of it.
Yeah, I think my dad would have done.
It was
My
more
mum-
you.
Yeah, But I got a leather jacket out of it. She told me to meddle on.
But from what you said, your mum is kind of like, we don't want people knowing.
Yeah, and don't
Yeah,
talk about it.
yeah, like,
It's-
yeah.
It's, you know, brush it
Like
under
it's
the
something to
carpet.
be ashamed of. Like
Yeah.
people would think it's your fault.
Yeah, it's like the elephant in the
When it isn't.
Yeah.
At all, it isn't.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is some people do actually think that, don't they?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So you met Les then?
Yeah, and I met him at Blues.
Okay, yeah. So,
And you know, it wasn't a case that because he was black or white, you know.
you're attracted to, aren't you, at the end of the
Yeah,
day?
you know, it weren't about that, but I think he showed me a bit of attention that I wanted.
Especially after that.
Yeah.
Exactly,
You know,
yeah. And I would
we're
guess...
mysterious.
I don't know if I'm jumping the gun here, but as a girl who that's happened to, and you've met this guy, and was he older?
Yes.
Yeah, so a bit older. He's going to offer you security in your mind.
Yeah. And
Do you know what I mean? Like that's
yeah.
not going to happen to me again.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not because I've got.
Safe.
Yes.
And when I went to London for the weekend, he'd take me out and we'd done
Yeah.
nice things.
Okay.
So going to live down there, I just thought
What did you think he did as a job, or what did he do as a job?
he, it was cars mainly.
Oh,
He had
right,
a car,
okay.
car lot selling cars.
Oh right, okay.
At that time he wasn't.
But that was sort of like
yeah, that was his thing, what he
is
did,
that
yeah. But as soon as I got living with him, you know, things changed.
And again, a young girl going to London, seeing
Yeah,
that,
the
you
bright
know,
lights, big city, and I thought,
Exactly.
you know, yeah. I thought I were on that train going down with me with suitcase,
Yeah.
thinking, you know,
no.
I don't know what I really
So
thought.
did he obviously had his own place?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I mean, he was 37, I was 18,
Okay.
and he lived in London since we were about 18.
So was he actually from then?
No, he was from Sheffield.
From Sheffield, yeah, I thought you said that.
Yeah, and he went down there when he was about 17.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah.
And got a flat down there.
Right, okay. And then you've sort of gone down and then...
Yeah, but
When-
I didn't know at the time, you know, that he'd got another woman he'd been with. She was pregnant at that time in Sheffield.
Right. Oh, bloody hell.
So, you know, I was like, I think I was a spare, you know, in case
Right,
anything
okay,
happened. You know, he wasn't going to be on his own.
Yeah.
But you know
yeah,
what, Vicky? Karma.
Yeah. Oh,
That man now
Love
is
it.
living on his own.
yeah. Believe in
I
it
don't,
so
yeah,
tenfold.
and I don't enjoy it. I don't.
No.
No, I don't.
No. No.
But yeah, karma does come knocking on you.
Oh, listen, you can get revenge on somebody. You can go and bloody put them in hospital. You can mend the bone. You just sit back and you wait because
Karma will knock at that
karma
door.
will get you. Will get you.
She'll knock on that door one day.
Will get you. And they don't make an appointment. Put it that way.
No. And it might be a long time after the event that it comes.
Yeah, and I believe as well. It doesn't matter how long it's took. That person who Karma's visiting knows why.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
At the time, like when I first moved down with him, and he always said to me that he didn't want to end up on his own when he was older. You know, he had visions of him being left
Yeah.
on his own and
Yeah.
his kids not visiting him, and that's kind of like what happened in a way. But I don't believe he's a bad person. I just believe that was
Circumstance at the
that's
time,
what he
maybe.
did.
Yeah.
And that's what he were.
So
And
how
basically
did
he
it
was a
go
pimp.
from right? Okay. So how did it go from going, to the cinema and you look your suitcase and looking forward to still going down there and then staying? When did it go from like right, Sally, this is how we're gonna live. This is what's
Yeah,
happening. If you don't like it,
I
tough.
moved down there, yeah, and it wasn't much longer after that.
Right. Okay. So
Yeah,
it raised its ugly head more or less straight
Yeah,
away.
His friend.
But
and-
by that time, he'd got you.
yeah, I'd
Like
moved, yeah,
mentally,
yeah.
you
he
just
told
cut ties
me.
from
Yeah,
from
that he
Sheffield
loved me.
and yeah.
And I believed him, when he
Yeah,
said
and
it.
especially again going back to that event,
Yeah,
that won't have won't have helped, so
Yeah.
to speak.
and I used to say he's not a pimp. He
Oh,
is
you
not.
never see him as that though,
I
do you?
know.
You know. You,
No, he weren't that, and
Yeah.
I defended him to the death.
was he violent?
It could be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was more mentally with
lot,
him.
yeah,
Do you think?
Yeah, but yeah, he did get Andy. a couple
What
of times.
was he on drugs or anything? Was it
No.
because of drugs why he did it?
No,
or no,
no,
just about the
Just
control.
for the money, yeah.
Yeah,
the
and control, yeah.
that's
Did
what it were.
he sort of put you on the streets of London, or did he put you in sort of not windows, sorry,
Yeah.
in parlours?
Well, what it was,
How did the first? If you can just,
yeah,
if you can, like the first time
he,
you did it.
his friend, who I knew from up here at,
Yeah.
at Blues, his girlfriend, partner, who he was with, Jackie,
Yeah.
she was an older woman, I think she was about 34, from
Okay.
Birmingham.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she was a working girl.
Right.
And she drove a Mercedes, 2 soft top coupe.
Okay,
what somebody
right.
bought her. you know, making it look all interesting.
Yeah, yeah,
And,
in like
yeah,
peeling.
Yeah, and I sort of like probably agreed to it in some kind of way.
Yeah, because he used that as like an
Yeah,
example. So to
but-
speak, well, you can have this, you can have that. And
yeah, like.
Well, we could have that.
Yeah,
That's how I would have
that's what
worded
it's
it,
all
wouldn't it?
about,
Really?
and I believe that
Yeah.
we, you know,
Yeah,
I
because
never
you're
believed
looking
it.
back
Yeah.
to your experience and your where you've been taught. You know, your parents were. It was a we then, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was a family, you know, together and stuff. So
Yeah.
you're thinking, all right, it's not like the typical, you know, he ain't going out to a job and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
it's still providing
Yeah,
that
yeah,
we,
yeah.
isn't it? The
Yeah.
togetherness,
But
partnership.
yeah, but I did believe that, like, you know, my dad always went out to work and we always had tea at 5 o'clock.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was kind of like the thing. So being with somebody like him were different, and I
Yeah.
thought that were exciting.
Yes, you do, don't you?
Yeah,
You do.
and
you
I
do.
remember this woman, Jackie. She turned out to be really, really nice.
Oh,
But he was talking to her about me, and I remember that. But I thought, you know, I felt a bit honoured that he were
yeah.
looking
yeah.
after me.
Yeah,
When all the time he was just asking how much money they made
Yeah.
at this flat in
Yeah.
Romford Road.
yeah, yeah.
And I
But
still
you did-
remember it.
But I think even if you'd have heard that there and then, you still wouldn't.
No, I
you,
wouldn't
you
have.
would have interpreted it any different anyway,
Yeah, I
wouldn't you?
know.
I mean, yeah.
And I didn't even know how to put a condom on.
Really, yeah. Was he sort of the first person, apart from the event, who you sort of had like a proper full-on sexual,
Yeah.
we all experiment and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, like,
Yeah,
who
it
you
was-
thought you loved?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there were Mark, my first love.
Yeah.
at
Oh, right.
school,
Okay. Yeah.
But you're just sort of like experimenting then, aren't you?
Yeah,
kind
you
of
are
thing.
really, aren't you? Yeah. So this was like you grown up.
Yeah,
I mean,
it were a lot, I'll be honest, probably were a lot about the sex.
Yeah.
But he
Yeah.
never kissed me.
Okay.
In all the years, he never kissed me.
Right.
And I always believed that were just something he weren't into.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it always stuck in my
Just
head.
like some women don't
Yeah.
do blowjobs. You know. Yeah. I know what
he
you're
said
saying.
to me, like, working, you don't kiss.
Yeah.
You don't tell him your real name.
Yeah, well, you see, back then that's what it was like, wasn't
Yeah.
it? You didn't do half of the things you have to do now.
No.
You know, you literally went in, not even really did a massage, but you went in, you did it from behind, let's say,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
didn't know
yeah.
the job's done, you know, it were as ruthless as that, wasn't it,
Yeah,
really? You
yeah.
did, and if they said, can I kiss you, you'd say, I saved that for, for
Yeah,
my boyfriend, you
yeah.
can't put a price and everything. And that's how it was,
Yeah,
wasn't it? Old school,
yeah.
like that, yeah.
And he used to say to me, if they asked you, just say, no, I'll go home and kiss my kids. Which
Yeah.
I didn't have any kids at that time.
Yeah, but you
Yeah.
have to give them a different persona anyway,
Yeah.
don't you? You know.
But I always, in the back of my head, always thought, why don't you kiss me? You don't look
Yeah.
at me as a person. You look
Okay.
at me as a...
So he wouldn't like sort of just go,
No,
come here,
not
babe.
very
love.
loving.
No.
I mean, we had to have a different colour towel, you know. It
Right.
Was,
Okay.
I felt very much as an object. Looking back at this time, you know, obviously, as a young girl, it's very sad that happened, but it did.
Yes.
But I could have met somebody worse, you know, in a way.
Yeah. I mean, I always look at things like that. But I
Yeah.
mean, some people wallow in self-pity and things like that. And I just think, get up,
Yeah.
give your head a shake.
I know.
You're here and you're here. You're
But I
alive.
have wallowed in
you know.
self-pity.
Yeah, you
I
have,
have.
yeah. But you snapped out of it though.
Yeah.
It didn't last long, obviously, because
No.
you're not now.
My dad always
You're a
used to
very
say to
strong
me-
person, though, aren't you? Well, I think you are. You do come across as that, to be honest.
Yeah, you do.
Whether you,
Yeah, I'm a
Yeah,
lot
you do.
stronger now than what I were.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
That's why I asked.
I can only go on from when I'm thinking about. I think you're a better, not a better person, more screwed on and aware of what's going on around
Whereas
you
what-
when you're
yeah,
not drinking.
Yeah. I wasn't.
Because I mean, I know
aware.
we've jumped
Yeah.
gone a bit on with drinking,
yes,
but
we have.
we'll have to do a part 2 with you as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
But yeah, so you're living that sort of, you're living that life. Neither of you are on drugs.
No.
No?
No.
How did you sort of go from London back to Sheffield? Where did your pregnancy fit in? And
Well, I met him when I was 18.
yeah,
I did get pregnant, unfortunately,
okay.
and this was. We finished up anyway. We had a kind of an argument, and I decided to get a flat on my own.
Oh right, in
But-
London, yeah.
Yeah, but it was above. It was in a house in Halsden. I don't know if you heard of Halsden.
I haven't actually, no.
Quite like a very black.
Okay, like say
Yeah,
Bit Small in
Yeah,
Sheffield?
yeah.
Okay.
You know, place to live. Where you don't really go out at night. I don't
Yeah,
think.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I didn't know that. You know,
Yeah,
like,
yeah, I
go
know
out
what
at
you mean.
night
I've been to a
phone
few
box
places in
on the
London,
road.
so
Yeah.
you know, even police don't go on there.
Yeah,
You know,
I
it's
know,
one of
that's
them
what I
ones.
mean,
Yeah.
And I went, you know, I went aware all these things, but yeah, and that didn't work because he had a key cut, and I
Oh,
didn't know. So
yeah.
even where I did me, you know, hid me things,
Yeah,
my
it's
money, but I
yeah.
started to realise at that point that, I mean, I got a phone, a mobile phone, and it
Okay.
was always like I've got you that phone.
Yeah.
And I was
Like,
like, well,
no,
no, not really.
I've got you this
that-
phone. Yeah.
You've let me have the phone, but that's
Yeah.
how you look at me.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get away.
Right,
I
yeah.
felt trapped.
Yeah.
And
So it's slowly coming on now, the realisation
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
reality of it is kicking into you
Yeah.
now, I guess, isn't it? Yeah.
and I look back at pictures. I think I was about 7 stone then.
Yeah.
I really, you know.
Can you, I mean, you'll have thought, obviously, yeah, I'm happy, I'm smiling on his face. But now looking at him, can you see the misery in his face?
Yeah. And
Because I think your eyes are the windows to your soul.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell me what you see when you see a picture like that now. You know, like if I was to pass you a picture of when you and him were together, you know, you're probably, you know, really smiley on it. You know,
Yeah.
really. What would you see now? Would you see?
Well, I always remember somebody looking. There's not many photos of us together.
No.
But one, and somebody said, "Well, you both don't look very happy."
Right.
And it must have been in the eyes, you know,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
he didn't really love me. He probably learned to care about me.
Of course, yes, I agree.
And I
with
don't
that.
think I loved him. It
Because-
was infatuation.
Yes, I think people do really get it mixed up with love and
Yeah.
and sort of
I do.
obsession.
Yeah, I do
and
really
because
bad.
I mean, if I gave you my dog to look after for 6-7 months and then took it off you, you
Yeah.
would miss my dog.
Oh yeah,
It doesn't mean you love the dog.
Yeah.
You know, and
I
you'd be
know.
miserable. You know, be a bit upset that you weren't with him and feel down about it. But that's only because you've got used to something constant in your life.
yeah. And
You know?
I have got a problem with addiction,
Yeah.
with anything.
Yes, you've got a bit of
And-
quiet. Yeah.
Yeah, and even I can say this now, sex.
Yeah. You. Oh, he digs to him.
That's, you know what, his nickname is something for me, and I always said, where did you get that from? He says, because you always wanted more.
Okay. Right. Yeah. All right.
know.
You have to tell me that off camera.
Yeah.
So when have you sort of got pregnant with your son? We'll call him Lee.
Yeah, well, that all happened. A thing happened with his council. He'd been at that council flat for quite a while.
Okay.
And at that time, they wanted, well, really, they wanted me out. There was 3 bedroom and quite a
Oh
big
right.
flat.
Okay. Yeah.
So they gave him the right to buy,
Oh right.
or if he found a property anywhere in England and Wales for £25,000,
Yeah.
they would put the money on
Really?
it. You wouldn't get the money, but they, you know,
Yeah.
that would
Yeah.
happen.
Oh wow.
And we just laughed at it. And one day we came up, and he spent Christmas at my mum and dad's because I don't think his ex were very happy.
Right. Oh yeah, because you said that he got that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So by this point she'll have had a child then, won't she? She'll have the baby. Yeah.
I did, yeah, but that's another story.
Okay, we'll cover that one next time.
Yeah, we spent Christmas at my parents,
Yeah.
with me, my nana, and my family, and
Yeah.
I realised how nice everybody were.
Okay.
You know,
yeah.
and he
Normal
really fit
and
in, yeah. And I was so proud of my dad because I thought, like, a black man.
yes,
might
because
have an
back.
issue.
Yeah, back then. I mean,
Yeah.
it wasn't so much racism. It was
Yeah,
they tended to live off
yeah.
white women.
And, you know, they had a reputation, and it wasn't as though I brought him home to meet my dad.
Yeah.
I just went to, you know, to live in London, so
Yeah.
my dad must have wondered what the hell was going on.
True.
But yeah, so that Christmas he actually came and